Hello and welcome back to it's a new year. It's a new year, everybody. It's 2024. Here we are. We've made it. 2023 is now history. It's done. Is it just me or does New Year's Eve get more and more lame every year? Every year I'm less inclined to do something to celebrate. I feel like it used to be fun when you were a kid because you got to stay up late. You got to actually, like, midnight meant something. Now when you're older, it just means I'm up too late. Like, I got to go to bed. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a grump. Because it's also like, the whole holiday season. What would you say? It kicks off with like Halloween, right? You kind of ease into the chaos. You're like, okay, this one's fun because it's, there's decorations, you got the movies, candy, all this. Like, you don't really have any social obligations. Sometimes you'll have a Halloween party or something, but you're not really obligated to see anybody. That's why it's a fun holiday. Then you got Thanksgiving, which is like peak family interaction, which can be tough for some people, right? So you got that to deal with. So now you're in it. Now you're just full on in the holidays, and you're like, holy hell, I got to see all these people again in a month? Why do we do this? Oh, and by the way, I love my family. I got a great family. So I actually look forward to these holidays, but, you would think whoever planned all these at least would spread them out throughout the year. Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe have Thanksgiving in the summer. That'd be nice. Instead of, now I have to buy 2 flights within a month just to see the same people again and have the same conversation. Oh, nothing's changed in the last month. Huh? No, not really. I just saw you 3 weeks ago. Nothing's really different. But here we are, another. So you got Christmas, right? That's round 2 of Thanksgiving. A little more fun because there's gifts involved. Unless you're like my family, where we're like, all right, we're not doing gifts, and then my mom still sends me something, and then I go, well, just so we're clear, I don't feel bad about not sending you something because I thought the deal was we're not doing. I hate when people do this. I've done this before. I mean, other people too, where it's like, no, we're not doing gifts, and we're truly not doing gifts. Okay, none of this. We're not doing gifts. And I still got you a little something. Well, I'm not gonna feel bad. Okay. So now that all that is over with, right? You get through Christmas, and then you have New Year's Eve, which is like I said, when you're a kid, it's fun. But when you're an adult, you're like, why? What are we doing? Like, because you're not going out, or at least I'm not, because I'm like, I just saw everybody I needed to see, right? You do that holiday stuff. I'm like, I just saw everybody, friends, family. We did it. We made the rounds. Now I'm going to go out. And the New Year's Eve, too, I feel like it's a big drinking holiday. Wouldn't you say? I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just a big night for going out and staying out late. And it's just not my thing. My favorite thing to do on New Year's Eve is stand up. Okay, I love doing a show on New Year's Eve. A lot of clubs, I should say different venues, they might approach it differently, right? Sometimes you have one show. Sometimes you have 2 shows, and then sometimes you have 2 shows that lead up to midnight. So you literally have to stand up there and do the whole countdown thing with the crowd. And, it's fun to do once, maybe. But also I'm like, no, because it kind of changes the whole vibe of the show, because you got people who are there just to drink and do the whole New Year's thing. They don't care about the show. They just want the funny hat and the noisemaker and the champagne toast. They do it up. They're like, I don't care about this guy on stage right now. That's what it's usually like. But places that do it right, they'll do it earlier in the night and we'll be done with it, right? And then everyone's happy. The comedians are happy. The audience is happy because they can stay and get wasted after. And typically it's earlier in the night, so people aren't trashed yet, and they're generally a good audience, because it is a fun night to go out. And when I think comedy is like the perfect level of activity for that kind of evening, especially if you're not really too much into like partying. You can go just watch the show, maybe do dinner, and that's it, and you're home. Like, for example, we had 2 shows, 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Okay, now 8 o'clock show is usually the early show. Usually the evening starts at 8 for people, right? Not this place, okay? Kenosha, Wisconsin. Great club, great town. I love it there. I perform there multiple times a year. It's a great little town. to do, and all the crowds are always great. I don't know if it's like that Minnesota, Wisconsin nice, everybody's in a pretty generally good people. They like comedy. They like to laugh. So I always look forward to going there. When they told me it was 5 o'clock and 8 o'clock, I was like, sign me up, okay? First of all, this is only an hour from my house, door to door, okay? I didn't stop once, just right to the parking lot, an hour drive. That's nothing for me, okay? I'll do that in my sleep. Now, I got to get there. I get there at 4:30, show's at 5. This is perfect. Now, you'd imagine the 5 o'clock show, pretty old. A lot of old folks come out for 5. And I was like, these are my people, okay? All of us. We're all going to be in bed by 8. Like, seriously. Like, all these folks come out there like, we're going out at 5. We're going to beat the early rush, okay? We don't. Do we want to go to the 8 o'clock? No. Why would we do that? And the one cool thing about it is, like, at 5 o'clock, it's still dark out, so you can pretend like you're out at night doing something cool. I just really identify with the attitude of like, hey, it's New Year's Eve, let's go see a show. Why would we stay out for 8? No, we're going to the 5 o'clock. We're getting dinner. Maybe we'll get dinner before the 5 o'clock if we're really, if we're really wild. And I was talking to the manager too, and she was explaining about how much per person they make off of drinks and food and stuff like that. And she was like, oh yeah, nothing on the first show. Not very heavy drinkers. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe half of, the dollar amount. I think it was something like that. It was like 50% less than what they expect on like a Friday or Saturday. But I tell you what, they were a great crowd. And I personally, I want the club to thrive and be successful, right? Because that's how I get paid, right? They hire me, but still, I kind of like that. I like a not so drunk crowd. So Kenosha, as usual, was a lot of fun. New Year's Eve, I brought my wife with me. We had a blast. This is what's fun. This is what's fun about New Year's, because it gives you the perfect. Doing comedy on New Year's Eve gives you the perfect amount of interaction with strangers that I need, okay? Like, okay, fine, I'll do the show, but maybe you talk to the people at the show, you go home. It's great. And in this case, I was like, we're going to be home early, right? We're going to get home well before the ball drop or before midnight. You could, like, that was the thing. I'm like, let's do the shows. You want to come up to Kenosha with me, and then when we get home, we can watch a movie and hang out, right? Hang out with the dog. Life is good. Happy New Year. That's my kind of New Year's Eve. Well, it didn't exactly go that way, okay? It wasn't exactly crazy either. It just did not go as planned. Because what happens is you do the shows, everybody's in a good mood, everyone's having fun, and that you have a drink real quick, and you're like, okay, I'll have a drink after the show or whatever, and you hang out, you're chatting with people. Also, they had like a band and all sorts of entertainment going on this night, and you get to chatting for a little bit, and you realize, oh, damn, I got to get home. And on the way home, I'm like, okay, we got to pick up some food, because we hadn't really eaten, and we were like, we should order some food, get some late night, something. You would think on a holiday you'd like treat yourself, right? Let's get something like sushi or something. Let's jazz it up a little bit for New Year's Eve. We decided Taco Bell. Okay, don't judge me. You're not better than me. Taco Bell, especially like when like premeditated Taco Bell. Like before I'm talking hours before we decided. That's where our minds were at this night. It is between shows. We're talking about what to order on the way home. I was like, we can pre-order it when we're like 30 minutes away, right? I'm like, we can order from a restaurant, whatever we want. And we both look at each other and we go, you know what? Taco Bell. I think that's the move, right? Because first of all, it's late. I mean, how fancy do we got to get with this, right? I mean, let's be real. So the rest of the night, all I could think about was getting Taco Bell and going home, right? And it's like I said, it's about an hour drive. So we're doing this in the car, right? We're driving. Like, how far away should we be when I order it? Because that's what you do. You pre-order it, okay? You download the app. You give Taco Bell your data. They can have it as long as they don't have to wait in a line on New Year's Eve. Well, you know what this genius does? You have two options. You can order it, you can pick it up, or you can go through the drive-thru. You don't have to get out of your car. You can pre-order it and not get out of your car. What a time to be alive. Look, folks, I know There's so much horrible stuff happening in the world right now. I mean, you could list for days so many things to be upset about, but whenever that happens, whenever you're thinking about how awful things are, just remember, you can pre-order Taco Bell to pick it up at the drive-thru, okay? So we spent about a half hour in the car, half of the drive, deciding what we wanted to order. And man, we let loose, okay? And then we're like, how far out should we be when we order it? You know, because you don't want to be sitting there for too long, right? We decide on 10 minutes. 10 minutes away from this is the other thing. I know this is probably disappointing to some of you, but I think this is hilarious because this is just an example of where I'm at in my life. I don't know if you've ever GPSed a location of Taco Bell. You know, I mean, I had this taking us to a Taco Bell. My phone knows exactly where I was going that night, okay? So we decide on 10 minutes out, we're going to pre-order this, right? Because then by the time we get there, it'll be ready. Well, I pull up and I realize this mobile order, I could have just picked it up at the curb and they'll walk it out to you. You don't have to wait in the drive-thru line. Well, of course, you know, I think we pull up at like 11:30 or something. And the whole point of this night is to stay up till midnight. And I was like, man, my goal was to be home before midnight. I mean, I'm talking like on the couch by 11:30. We had 2 shows. This would have been perfect, right? Pull into the drive-thru. There's a line wrapped around the building. Of course there is. What was I thinking? I was like, but part of me too was like, what kind of loser is going to be in Taco Bell at 11:30 on New Year's Eve other than me? Because that's like a total me thing. That's something I would do. But apparently, tons of other people. And you know who was in front of me? A guy ordering for the whole goddamn party, okay? He was ordering for everyone he knew because we sat in this line for 30 minutes now. I know you're probably judging me because 30 minutes truly is beyond my patience. I'm like, no, I can't. Like if you've listened to this podcast, you know I have no patience for other people, especially in like the public setting, okay? You want to know why I hated this guy is because he either didn't pre-order it, or if you know you're going to order $100 worth of stuff from Taco Bell on, prime time, midnight, close to midnight on New Year's Eve, let's go. I mean, let's think ahead a little bit. Order it ahead and go pick it up inside or go to the curb or whatever, curbside pickup. Don't hold up the whole drive-thru and ruin everyone else's night. See, that's inconsiderate. I wouldn't have done that. And that's why I'm mad. And I'm still frustrated about it because the thing is I was trapped. We couldn't get out of line. The whole point was like, we were going to try and do this fast. Well, we sat there for 30 minutes. We sat in this drive-thru line. We were stuck. We couldn't get out. There was a wall on one side and then the Taco Bell building was on the other side. We're trapped. We couldn't get out. And you feel like such an idiot. The whole time we just kept going, what are we thinking? And, here we are New Year's Eve. And I'm like, did you ever think that you'd end up here? So we sat there, rang in the new year. We actually, we eventually got our stuff and got out, and we were like 5 minutes away from the house. So we go home. We unlock the door at 11:58, just enough time to pop some champagne. Now, this is something else I want to tell you guys that I did not know is champagne pairs well with Taco Bell. All right. I would actually say almost as good as like a Baja Blast or something of that nature. I would much prefer it. It's just like a nice way to class it up, So that's how my New Year's Eve went. I hope yours was as entertaining or as mundane and boring as mine was. It wasn't boring. It was just like, this is the thing, is it was a normal night for me. I went and did some shows and then did something embarrassing. And now I'm talking about it publicly on a podcast. So that's what I'm doing. So I hope you had a good New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, the best day after, right? Doesn't matter what day it is, it feels like Sunday. New Year's Day that's when, people start their dry Januaries, their new diet, all their improvements. I'm not doing anything, man. I think I did dry January last year. I can't remember. I know I've tried it before, and I think I actually did it. Dry January. It's nuts. I mean, I get it. More power to you if you want to take a month off of drinking. I don't blame you, especially after the holidays. But I mean, at this point, why bother? I still have a membership to Planet Fitness that I haven't been to, and I mean, God, years. It's been over a year. And in that window of time, I've joined another gym, went to that gym for a hot minute, and then let that one expire. That one at least expired because they respect their customers. Planet Fitness knows. They're like, we're going to lock them in, and then we're going to make them write a handwritten letter to get out of their membership. So yeah, don't judge me. I still have my membership. Also, I will go again. I know I will. So that's the thing. Is like, I want to be able to go, and I really do think I'm going to go. But I'm not going to do this whole January 1st, I'm getting out there. No, I'm going to go when I'm ready. You got to wait at least 2 weeks into the new year before you go to the gym, because that's when people start to die off and they're like, okay, maybe I'm not going to, maybe it's not a new year, new me, maybe new year, same me, not going to go to the gym. But that's when you got to start going, when people start falling off on their resolutions and, giving up on dry January. Look, my resolution is just to be true to myself, and if I'm being honest, I know I'm not going to do it. So why bother? And I know this isn't the normal inspirational chat that you're used to hearing. Maybe I'm just bitter because another person won the Powerball. I feel like I talk about the lottery too much on this podcast, so I'm going to try and stop. But someone in Michigan won it, $800 million pre-tax. So that's still a hell of a lot of money. The thing is, it hasn't been claimed yet. And we do this all the time. The news freaks out like, whose is it? Who won it? And I'm like, yeah, they're getting their shit together, okay? They're changing their phone number. Whenever I hear like someone won, and like in my home state of Michigan, whenever I hear someone won a big lottery like that, and I haven't talked to my family in a while, I'm like, I better check in and see how everyone's doing. Whoever doesn't answer, they're suspect, okay? I'm like, are you suddenly rich all of a sudden? Look, winning the lottery at any point like that much, I'm talking hundreds of millions of dollars, on any night would be unbelievable. But on New Year's Eve, like you decide to go out with some friends, right? You're at a party. I better check the Powerball tickets. And then you won. What do? You leave, right? I would leave. I'd be like, no, I have to get out of here and not tell anyone here that I just become 100+ millionaire. I can already tell what kind of rich guy I'm going to be, though, too. If I ever have money, I'm still going to be a little annoyed, People are going to be like, Nate'll buy these drinks. Let's invite him out, New Year's Eve, if I win the lottery, nope, nobody, no one knows. I'll be walking around and no one will have any clue. That's just like the best time too, because like you have the perfect excuse, right? You're like, you know what? I'm gonna quit my job tomorrow, and everyone's like, well, don't do that. Why would you do that? And you're like, new year, new job, new me. You can just be like, yeah, just making some changes, Yep. Just call off the next day. Oh, and the best part is you had the last month off. Anyway, so something else fun that happened New Year's Eve. I got tons of folks to sign up for my email list, which you may know about. If you're not on the email list, get on it. There's a link in the show description. Go to my social media, website, whatever. Do what you got to do to get on the email list, because I will send you direct updates, when I'm coming to your town, and you'll know. You'll be the first to know, assuming you check your email. Now, why am I doing emails? People think that's outdated. I think it's actually more reliable than social media. You're probably not looking at anything I post, but you get that email direct to your inbox. It'll cross your mind, right? Also, how do I know if Instagram's going to be around in 10 years? Okay, how do I know if anyone's going to be around in 10 years? But particularly social media, this stuff changes so often. So if you want to keep in touch and find out when I'm coming to a town near you, when I'm making something new, albums, specials, podcasts, whatever it is, get on the email list and I will send it right to you. Okay? I won't spam you. I'm not a jerk. Okay? I would never do that to you. So just sign up and keep in touch. That'd be great. And also hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the podcast. Do all that. Tell your friends about it. Share it. Shout it from the rooftops. The mountaintops, the rooftops, any top you got. Okay, tell everybody about it and keep listening. I appreciate you being here. Happy New Year. Good luck with those resolutions. And we'll see you next week with another new episode of Nate Knows Nothing.